Now, we know that the most powerful country on earth is the United States of America. It would be foolish for us to think that the prophets could see and didn't see America in their prophetic utterances. The most powerful nation on earth, the most powerful nation in the last 6,000 years, and a nation in whom or in which is another nation. An entire people swallowed up by another people, oppressed by that powerful people. And that people refuse to let you go or give you justice. Let's think over that. You have had to fight and bleed and die just to go to toilet with white people, just to eat at a lunch counter with white people, just to sleep in a hotel or motel with white people. You've had to die to have the right to enter a boardroom of corporate America, and you still don't have what you need to be free. Let me show you what I mean. You refuse to believe that the rulers of America are your open enemy. You believe that these people are your friends. This is because you don't know what an enemy is. Listen. Out at the farm, where I have spent a lot of time these last few years while I've been convalescing, and it's very interesting to study nature. Everything in nature has a natural enemy. I see the worm, you know. Then you see the bird looking for the worm. Then you see the cat looking for the bird. Then you see the dog looking for the cat. Then you see the fox looking for the chicken. And the chicken looking for anything it can get its beak on. Every time you put on Discovery Channel, you see where the mother will try to protect the young from the natural enemy. Well, if everything in nature has a natural enemy, who is the natural enemy of God and the natural enemy of the black man? An enemy is one who would deprive you of your life. An enemy is one who would deprive you of that which gives you life. Freedom, justice, equality, the pursuit of happiness, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, love, peace, brotherhood, unity. An enemy would deprive you of this because this is what God wants you to have. But your enemy does not want you to have that. I have some dogs at the farm, and I have some cats at the farm. And at first, they were natural. They would fight each other. But since they grew together, the cat can lie down with the dog. But I have some other dogs that have never had that experience. And if I let them out of the kennel, they would kill every cat in sight. I have some sheep, beautiful sheep that give us little lambs. But if I let those dogs out the kennel, they'll kill the sheep. So you see, enemies can grow together. And when they get used to each other, they forget that they're enemies. But I watch when it's time to eat, the dog that looks like he's a friend of the cat, when it's time to eat, he'll fight the cats. And he gets confused sometimes. I see him going around the female cat, so he can't do nothing. But the tomcat don't like that. And it seems like they get a little upset, and the nature come out in them because they're natural enemies. Now, it is easy for you to see and understand that you have to have had an enemy in order for you to be deprived of what it takes to have happiness, freedom, justice, equality, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, love, peace, and happiness, unity. The minute we try to unite, there's always somebody from the outside that feels threatened by our unity. They break it up. Check this out. In this city of Chicago, we had a beautiful black man named Mr. Johnson who owned Soft Sheen, I think it was, or Ultra Sheen. Ultra Sheen. Doing good, hired about 150 black people, creating jobs. There were black banks in Chicago. Black corporations in the country that were doing pretty well. There was Motown and Stevie Wonder and the Jacksons and the Supremes and Smokey Robinson and they were making so much music till Motown was on the map for the sound that came out of Detroit. And Berry Gordy was that great impresario. Is that right? There was a black brother that bought Beatrice Foods and became the largest black corporate giant in America, worth a little over $1 billion. It was BET. A brother that got together with other brothers and other corporate investors and put together BET. There was Def Jam Records. Now check this out. See, you build business, but you don't build no army. And you got to understand in America that business is warfare. And if you don't have no army, soon you won't have no business. That threatens big business. I'm making a point. Your enemy never wants to see you independent of him. He must always be the master, and you must always be the servant. And when you try to escape being a servant, he finds devious ways to get you back under his wing. He makes you an offer that you can't refuse. An offer in money backed by guns and gangsters. You don't have no army, and the lure of money gets you. So what we bought from Beatrice Foods is now back in the hands of Caucasians. Motown is owned by Caucasians. Ultra Sheen, owned by Caucasians. BET, taken over by Caucasians, and they about to fire Tavis Smiley and all the big executives. Why? Because Tavis is a man of conscience, a man of knowledge, and he loves his people. We must get rid of any nigger that will make black people more independent in their thinking. Russell Simmons struggled with Def Jam Records, Def Jam Comedy, but they gave him an offer. Now he works for them. Mr. Bob Johnson, the owner of BET, now works for Viacom. He's got over $1 billion, but what is the dollar? It's a piece of paper with a white man's face on it. And the value of that paper is going down every day that we live. So what you have is nothing. Who don't want you to prosper and help you to become a giant? This is why Don King could say, only in America. Because when Don King, who's a big man, sits down with Time Warner, according to what I heard, they told him, you're a flea, and we are the elephant, and we'll crush you. So they call it partnership. But all the time you form the partnership, they're finding a way to take it from you. They never stop. They come in as a partner, but they go out on top. Why? Because independence is too much for you. You begin to think you're equal to them. And you must never think that. You and your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren must always be servants to your former slave masters and their children. You have an enemy. And I know what you'll say. You'll say, yeah, we're the enemies of ourselves. Yeah, they made you that way.